Welcome back to the Brian Comstock podcast, Turning Pain into Power. We have another amazing guest. Of course, our shout out to Kind Power, who helps make these episodes possible. That's actually, we had a mutual friend who introduced us. So this is our first conversation. So today's guest is someone who is literally building the future. Konstantin Kisly is the co-founder of Alef Aeronautics, the company behind the world's first real flying car, which is behind us. That's his big baby. He's an engineer, researcher, and inventor who has spent years pushing the boundaries of what's possible in transportation. Konstantin's life is a rare combination of deep engineering, big vision, and genuine compassion. And today we get to sit down with him and explore that journey, the breakthroughs, challenges, and the mission behind the work. Konstantin, welcome to the show.
Pleasure. Hi, everybody. My name is Konstantin. Yeah, thank you for your interest and thank you for inviting me. And yeah, let's talk about engineering life and like what's going on
Cool.
under the hood as well.
I'd love to. So where's a good place to start? Like, how far back do we have to go in your life that kind of connects the dot to what you're doing? Like, have you always been into, science stuff, or like how far back do we have to go to kind of kick us off and then build up to what's behind us?
That's interesting. I have a background in science and chemistry, so that's probably, for example, the mindset was somewhere like already there, like to check things around, like maybe not to innovate, but I mean like at least some passion to what's going on under the hood again. I would. So this particular journey started like 10 years ago, and it's very funny. So I have a friend, and
That's more than I got.
Huh?
That's more than I have.
I have one book as well.
You got a book too?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So my friend, he was doing like kind of TED Talks style meetings, and there was about science and science fiction. And the idea behind this one, so we can, those days we can combine and at least, and bring like science fiction or like, for example, fairy tales to our world, because we have a lot of technology sitting on our desks right now. It's like, right, that's probably the best humanities period. And so one of the things he asked, let's do flying carpet from 1001 Night. And I said, like, no, it's crazy. Like, no, it's not sustainable. It's not efficient. So why do we need this one? And like, what's the real purpose? But it was fun, and we start thinking in that direction. At some moment, we gather and there was a napkin event at the cafe. We sit and like thinking about ideas. And like slowly we started like moving ahead. We had like our own like interests at that point, like full-time jobs, jobless, and like, so that was like real life happening. But that was something on the, let's say, on the background. So we have that chunk of the our time was dedicated to that project. And don't think it was like this one from the very beginning, not even close, right? So it was iterative process from the one idea, one application, another idea, another application. And I'm not even talking about like engineering now. So, and we start thinking about it, and as I said, like after about 8 years ago, so it's getting more and more serious. And at some moment we start building things like physical, and then go to talk to the people, talk to some public, go to the conference. So I mean, like, you're gaining some confidence at some point, right? So for example, I spent some time for this one, I know things around it, so I can express to others. And that's how, like, again, we're in the California and Bay Area, it's Silicon Valley, and it's the good thing about it, like, it's a lot of VCs here. So I mean, one step was interest, let's say, but another step was like, more towards what we think to do and what it's going to be. And the next step is like, exposed to the public. It was pretty smooth all of them,
So why flying transportation? Why transportation? Why flying? Like why you have background in organic and analytical chemistry. I didn't even know chemistry became analytical. Like you can do a lot of things. Why this project?
Yeah, I mean, chemistry will also said like organic and analytical material science, and that's pretty interesting. So again, don't think we have this one from the very beginning. So like what you see now, that's like, again, they like to say like the tip of the iceberg, right? So that's like um, let's say like we found particular application for this one, but from the very long, for many years it was just like something yeah, fun and interesting. Okay, fun and interesting. Okay, 3-4 years. Then you're thinking, okay, but why? I mean, how can evolve it, right? So what was the real application? Flying cars. We all know flying cars. They're from sci-fi. We're all thinking about it, right? So this is the most anticipating product. But what the real need of it?
Yeah, what's the real need?
Yeah, so that's like it's not obvious. For example, we have like the flying car, but I mean, I mean, if humanity and society is going to accept it, that should be like a real cause, real
Use case.
right? Yeah, and that moment, again, it was like, I mean, yeah, out of the blue. So, for example, we're thinking, okay, this is like perfect perfect way to solve the traffic problem. We all know the traffic. Yeah, there is no obvious solution for it. So ways to do it, you can go under the ground, subways, metros, not sustainable because infrastructure investment a lot. You can do things on the ground like public transportation, more highway lanes. Again, you changing your lifestyle, you like, yeah, going on the bus, you work not that beautiful maybe. So we're thinking above the ground, and above the ground, again, big aviation, small aviation, but there is nothing around like for the commute range. And the commute range would say like about 50, 100 miles, right? 160 kilometers. Yeah, so this completely unoccupied area. And so we, not something from the very beginning thinking of it, yeah, but when we found it, like it's a perfect fit for the technology for our, and perfect fit for the something new.
So the main problem is like solving traffic. Is that sort of do you guys have a mission statement? Like what's the
Traffic.
traffic?
Yeah, traffic, yeah.
Our mission statement is traffic.
Yeah.
It's the only one-word mission statement I've ever seen with no explanation necessary.
No, I mean,
Everybody hates traffic, so this is why we build flying cars.
yeah, keep it simple. Yeah, again, like flying cars are beautiful, but yeah, the real course is like the real underlying is like traffic. There are a lot of good things about this baby behind us, but the traffic's like, yeah, is the main thing.
So traffic, and then is there a vision beyond traffic, or is that really just that'll take us for the next 10, 20 years of what you see for this?
Yeah, there is particular reason why I named traffic, because the traffic is the most like let's say the market size is the biggest. It's like even like compared to other, for example, you can say like agriculture, rescue and save, for example, cargo. But I mean like the market size are really different.
Yeah.
Even aviation markets, like it's not compared to the automotive market, and we target in the automotive market. Yeah, so it's we consider it more than like car than the, like, for example, the plane or the rotorcraft.
So this has been like several years in the making. Have there been have you had any doubt from other people or yourself, like doing something that's not yet it doesn't exist yet, so to speak? So is there any sort of emotional doubt, stuff like that you have to contend with when you're creating something that's kind of yet to be proven?
That's interesting. Let me recall. I mean, usually when you like, I mean, from the very beginning, you make a mindset that actually there's going to be a lot of non-believers, and like, yeah, there's going to be doubts. And again, like as long as you're creating something new, and nobody, for example, I mean, even like not completely new, right? But I mean, something close, something that makes some breakthrough. There's going to be a lot of people who say like, oh, come on, that's like, we haven't accomplished it yet. That means like it's not possible, or we don't need it, or something else. So probably from the very beginning, that's kind of, I put like section in my mind, for example, there's going to be non-believers, and that's fine. So I mean, no worries about this one. Yeah. So more like focus on the deliverables.
So we have external non-believers that you factor that in. How about any sort of internal, are you just convinced, you just made up your mind and it's just a matter of time? What is the
internal?
time?
Internal, that might be like there was a curve. So for example, people around me, and this, for example, first it was like more like a project, then like a fun project, right? So they get used to it. So this wasn't like hard stop for them. For example, okay, he's doing flying cars. No, come on. Like,
They saw the evolution.
yeah.
Not everyone believes in evolution, but there's an evolution for this car. What what's the timeline? Like, what's the projected? Where are we in the journey here on the timeline of what you're doing?
To accomplish it. Again, that's something, for example.
I'll give you 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's something like this. Yeah, I mean, like, it's nice to see, to talk, to discuss, right? But again, in the reality, there's a lot of problem behind it, right? And again, one of the problems, reality, is money, right? So if like when we're still on the VC funding, so if we're good with the funding, we can we're pretty confident we can accomplish it, like finish R&D in 1 year. So that's maybe like what is meaning finish an R&D. So we're certain about like all the functions, about the parts, and they call it log design. So we log design, and after then you can proceed with the manufacturing. And manufacturing, that's completely another story. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So I mean, our current like step by steps. So it's really hard to think about the whole journey like in a whole chunk, right? So I mean, like it's really makes sense like to cut it. For example, okay, R&D first, then manufacturing. 1 year. Sorry about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Are you happy with that timeline and progress, or do you get impatient? Do you feel like it should be faster? It's like, you just show up to this facility, this warehouse every day?
Roller coaster. I mean, like one day you think, okay, we're on a track, we accomplished good things. Another day you read news about like something like, about competitors, about the pressure, and you're thinking it's like, I think it's important to keep some median line. So for example, don't be too excited, don't be like under excited, like, but
that's how you handle don't get too up or down, like try to just balance it.
Exactly, yeah. Again, so that's something like people expecting, and there's a lot of companies that are already in this industry. The good thing for us, I mean, most of them, they're more like resembling more efficient idea of the helicopter. We have completely new idea, so it's like it's point-to-point vehicle. So a lot of, for example, as a Joby, Archer, other guys, they doing hub-to-hub. So you need like helipad, you need some dedicated space.
Right.
So for us, it's a little bit another idea. So from your home, you drive like a couple hundred of feet for like, maybe like even a regular parking spot. You take off, you fly, you land, and you drive another couple of feet to your work. So you don't need to change the vehicle on your trip. And the thing is like, there is idea. So when you use transportation hubs, it actually creates more traffic. So from the whatever helipad, you still need to take Uber and go to the
adds complexity.
Yeah.
And difficulty and friction. Are there other people working on point-to-point flying transportation?
A couple of several, but again, for distinguish from us, we don't have.
We have the biggest warehouse.
Yeah, not actually in reality. I mean, like, consider it's like there was what you've seen in the movie, like Californian startup garage. So this is like, but I mean, on another scale, but that's pretty. Idea is pretty the same. Like, yeah, people gather and start doing some soldering, bolting. Yeah. So back to, yeah, they're thinking about, but again they require infrastructure. So for example, either is going to be exposed propellers or like propellers on the arms on the extent from the takeoff. So one of the beauty of the projects, it's it's a size of a regular car. So like you don't need to change infrastructure, right? It fits the parking lot, it fits the regular roads. And another thing is like there is no exposed propellers. So safety is like number on the big scale. If you have like something spinning, there's probably no, right? So it should be like all covered. You see the mesh, so all under the
You
body.
can't like lose an arm.
Yeah, I mean, again, for example, there may be crazy things. So you know they call it like safety by design. So it's like it's already implemented. You don't need to like to innovate to make something another system on the top of the system,
Right.
because
Begin with the end in mind.
yeah,
Like, factor that in to begin.
it's
begin
already
with.
there. Yeah.
Baked in.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What you've done multiple things. Like, why do you care? Like, what motivates you to do this stuff? You just like building. You just like hard projects. Do you have any? Do you really hate traffic? Like, what's the deeper motivator and driver for like what keeps you motivated to do something like this?
You asking under the skin questions, like nice, yeah, I like it. Yeah, upper level traffic, for example, have particular problem. I mean, you solve it. Underlying, it's on like next level. I mean, up or down. It's actually house affordability, right? So why is like, for example, why traffic even from the first in the first place there? Because I mean, like people tend to like to settle close at their point of interest to the job, I mean, downtown, whatever, right? So if you can like make the time to the downtown same 30 minutes, but you can settle, I mean, further and have like big and nice house there, that's gonna solve a lot of house affordability, and yeah, so you can have like bigger and more affordable house, apartment, whatever, right? Okay, next level. Next level.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, no, that's probably three is fine. Next one, I think, like, I mean, one of the reasons maybe like there is anxiety in this world, right? For example, let's say, I mean, I'm not sure for like what's going the same like 30 years, 40 years. It's maybe because the grass was greener.
I missed the grass. Where was the grass greener? I missed that.
There were trees also.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a sense that people, I mean, don't feel like really happy, and I think one of the things is because of the what's this like the feel of the security. So, for example, when you have like house, when you have family, it's way more easy to deal with a lot of things. What they call
Foundation.
it. Right. For example, then you can on the top of that build it something. When you don't have this, well, then it's got to be anxiety, right? And one of the things again is loan that can like maybe silly to sell, but I mean like to return the American dream again. So, for example, you can pretty easily buy home and like settled and have like a lot of kids. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. I like that systems. I like connecting those dots of traffic leads affects, or transportation then affects, housing, which then affordability of housing, which then affects people's sense of security and stability, which affects their overall anxiety and mental health.
Yeah.
My audience is big on mental health. So the fact that you were able to go from a flying car prototype behind us to mental health that's cool. That's impressive. And I agree with the logic.
I mean, right. Ultimately, for example, if it's a good thing when you're doing something like it's, and I think what we all, for example, why we're here. the families, kids, right? I mean, we're thinking the next generation is gonna live better, healthier, happier,
That's the
right?
goal.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I think it's pretty embedded, like internally, like deep in us. So, like, yeah, ultimately, you're thinking about how make it sustainable. That's progress line. Yeah.
Very cool.
And technology is one of the. I think my deepest belief that technology is something we can deliver it and solve it. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have anxiety? Are you happy?
Oh, oh man.
Do you have kids? Do you have kids that you're like?
That's another side of the coin, because I mean, like, again, I feel myself I stuck with the project, so this is my problem. I mean,
This is your baby.
Yeah, not the right way, but the family baby, and so yeah, that's. I mean, it's a balance. Yeah, but I mean, again, one day definitely. Yeah.
Who do you look up to? Do you have like mentors and stuff that for?
Good question. Now that's like, I mean, ultimately, and it's probably psychological thing. My father, so it's like almost like internal communications. Like, I mean, like in my brain, how it's like it's probably, yeah, but that's probably like everybody, like all guys doing it. I would say our investor team rep, yeah. So he is like I mean, what he accomplished. I mean, and like appreciate he believes in us, and that's, for example, yeah. So if like in a tough moments, so and it's pretty good thing. For example, when you don't know how to solve, I mean, how to make decision. So, for example, make an idea, you asking some another guy, right? I mean, somebody whom you appreciate. And
Your guidance.
Yeah, the guidance, and it doesn't really matter, because I mean, like, if it's like you're really asking and not really asking, but because you have like mental picture and the mindset of that particular person, that advice can, let's say, like, it's more like not from your mindset, but from your
Trusted
perception
advisor.
of like from there. If I explain it good, I can. If you want to, it's like the known example of the duck sitting on the table, right? I think it was invented like by Google engineers, and the thing is like it's literally like plastic duck sitting, and when you have a problem, you verbalize your problem and asking, and really, I mean, it really works. So, like, yeah, the problem, again, not that tough, not that hard, and very usually like your mind already have ways, so you just need how to bring it to the consciousness.
So the fact that you're willing to do a podcast, you're comfortable exposing this publicly as opposed to trying to like hide it until it's ready, or is that something people do, like basically try to hide the R&D and hide the design and stuff until it's like more ready to launch? Is that a dumb question?
Not actually. I mean, like, yeah, we had like for quite a year. So we had like, it was like we call it like secret mode.
Secret mode, right?
Yeah. So
how long? How do you decide when to come out of secret mode?
when
Stealth mode.
Stealth mode. When we have something like to show more or less feasible and that we're confident, it's close to the final product. Yeah, again, it was a lot of deliberation. Should we do it like now? Like, should we do it later? Another reason, when we feel that we ahead of others in the industry, so they need like to compete to catch up with us, and it's gonna take years. So that's probably it's pretty good question. So it's not something like you from the very beginning going to the public and
I imagine there's a degree of confidence that once you come out of stealth mode, you're not paranoid or anxious about the competition, because if you were paranoid and anxious, to me that would push you back into stealth mode. So there's a degree of, this is what we're doing, good luck catching up to us.
Paranoia, I mean, there's always going to be. I would say it's a balance between like pros and cons. For example, you open it to the public, and you might compromise your ideas, your engineering, and so on. But on another side of the scales, you getting public promotion, Another thing is like you check if it's important to the public. That's another thing. For example, you can do something and some moment
Make sure they care about it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys care about traffic? We'll find out.
I
Yeah.
think so.
So what are your challenges at a high level, of course, not down to the screwdriver, but what are your challenges? Yeah, talk to me about that.
Again, R&D is tip of the iceberg. It's always exciting, right? And it's like you to make things. In reality, that might be. I mean, the moment of the excitement and the happiness. I mean, it's pretty short, right? I mean, the most it's like you. I would say you have some task problem, like you kind of start thinking about it. You load it in your brain, in your mind. It's maybe like start thinking on the background, and at some moment, for example, you solve it, and you have that moment, and you go to the next one, right? So that's probably it's. I would say, I mean, the main maybe like beast is how you handle your biases, because I mean that's something you don't really know, right? So, for example, when you're thinking I'm doing it's not like retrospective, but I mean it's close. So I mean something it's not the fear of mistake, but I mean it's fear you don't know you're making mistake. So that's probably, for example, there's some better way of doing things, and I don't know it. I mean, again, that's probably the not to focus on this something really narrow, for example, engineering, but do things around it, right? Again, for me, it's like read other articles about like engineering in general, right? Or like what's going on in society, what the needs, what the real estate market, even like this, yeah.
Any other high level challenges that keep your team up at night?
That's mostly towards engineering.
Engineering land. All right, we'll stay away from that.
I mean, yeah, deadlines, tough things. For example, you don't know how to fix it, and you start on the pipeline. Okay, I don't know. I go to Google. I call to a friend. Next level, to find like the set of the people who really like professionals who in this particular area and do it for their the whole life. So they ask them. So there's like things of how to accomplish and to ask challenges.
Are you generally like excited? Like the difficulty? Well, assuming you are excited, I sort of didn't give you. If you are excited, is it because of the problem you're attacking, the complexity? Like I'm sure there's an intellectual challenge to it that keeps you, but are you like generally excited to be here, or is it like we've been doing this for so long, who knows when we'll see the light of day? Like what's your internal landscape generally speaking?
In terms of burnout, that's probably happened maybe like 4 or 5 times already.
Wow.
Yes, I mean there's like dips and up and downs.
So how do you handle that?
Yeah. Find something more basic level than this one, for example, right? So that's maybe can be your habits, friends, family, nature, something, for example. Yeah. So for example,
Self-care.
Your mind in something like you can, I mean, like step aside, give it some break for something like step back, and usually that's already another attitude to this one. Yeah, that's interesting. That's your question, back to your question. So how like the moment I wake up, that's usually but then it's like mind, it's like start engaging. Yes, it's like more fun. It's like but the very first moment can be pretty tough. But then like
why is it tough?
I think let's say from the very beginning, like you don't have like you don't understand all the joy of the engineering. So you're thinking more about basic things. For example, I don't know, like society, this world, what's happening there, right? It's like
That's basic.
yeah, I'm coming back to this world. Then, okay, I have something like I have some ground things like to take care about, to think about, and this, yeah, then brings to action.
And then you kind of connect back to the purpose of what you're doing. And
Right. So I mean, this is again, probably, I mean, our minds is like, my opinion, that's pretty like perfect instrument to solve some problems, right? So at least, I mean, we should feed it with some ideas to something to think about, right? So keep it like, if it's just we put it like without anything, that's a hard work. I would say for the majority of people, it's like more reasonable to keep it occupied, solving some things. Yeah.
what there's no cohesive narrative. I'm just asking random questions. Why, in case people are trying to figure out what difficult relationship has had the biggest impact on you?
You mean
With people, yeah.
like in general? Like,
It could be anything. It could be romantic. It could be your dad. It could be a business partner. Like any sort of really challenging, could be high conflicts. Something that was really, really tested you. Or has life been perfect?
Sometimes, but not all of them. No, I mean, the thing is like maybe, okay, ultimately, if somebody triggers us, right? So just like physics, no, I mean, no metaphysics. I mean, that's something in us that actually, I mean, like he or she can reach. So it's probably the challenge how to figure out what's that. And because like when it triggers you, I mean, like it's usually not in the consciousness, right?
It's unconscious.
It's just unconscious, yeah. And it's, for example, to figure out what exactly from, and then how, because the most nature of the, I mean, there are the biggest number of the conflicts and like some personal interactions like unhappy, that's something in us that can like respond to that action from the other person. If you don't have like this particular something set in your mind, like you won't even notice that person. You will be completely like free of his or her like accusation, right? Yeah. So this is probably like, but yeah, from the very beginning, that can be like anger, all of that. That's okay. But then it's not okay. Why I did it? Like, yeah, start like to think and yeah, to roll back, to see, to check what was under the hood.
Do you have any notable or memorable examples of that? Of like you learned something about yourself through that unconscious trigger or that relationship that you did notice, as opposed to just like you said, you wouldn't notice them if it.
The probably like the example like we all know, and yeah, it happens. Like for example, R&D, you think what another person did, right? For example, okay, why you did it in this way? Like it. I mean, that's not the name that role. I mean, that's not the
Are
most
you stupid?
It's not the most efficient and it's like reliable and like reasonable way. And then for example, like okay, and then let's like I know the people who like way more bigger in me in terms of like engineering, like science and so. For example, for them, I'm gonna be the same, right? And then it's like it cools me down. That's maybe the most challenge with them, like something like people don't understand what they're doing, don't understand what you are doing. That's probably the most challenging thing for them. So it catches you emotionally, right? For example, it's like, oh, why they're doing this?
So your process or protocol is to try to understand how or why that triggered you on an unconscious level. Try to basically bring it from an unconscious to a conscious level of awareness. Is that
right?
I know you have to kind of think about.
That's the perfect scenario, but I mean, I understand from some that's like it's a curve. It's not something you can do like you sit and just realize. That's maybe years, right? For example, you go from like, if you recall yourself, for example, 3-5 years, yeah, there are some changes, and there's opinion like people don't change. I don't believe in it. I mean, something really, really ground is probably more your moral principles stays.
Do you think people do change or don't change?
Do change.
Do change.
Do change, yeah.
You've seen people change?
Again, for example, on the physical level, we're just like big neural network. We can create another neural connections and adjust ourselves, yeah. So on the physical level, yeah, we can change.
Have you changed?
I think so, yeah.
How so?
I would say like focus on one things, less focus on the other things. So actually changing the priorities. That's probably things and altitude to the joy or like sorrow, like anger of this one. So like at some moment, like, I mean, again, they probably somewhere still deep inside you, yeah. But you can not even handle it, but you understand them. And that's like it gives you power, ability to manage things not based on that those like feelings or emotions. Yeah, that's.
That's good. What are you working on from a personal growth standpoint? What are you working on at this point? Like, what's the next change you would like to make in yourself?
Start reading more.
Reading more?
Yeah, less engineering, more towards like reading, because I mean, like, again, it's one thing. It's like, and understand it's maybe like this is this kind of period of life. For example, it's more. It takes a lot of time, like literally, and it's like I mean, there is like a sense of that I miss something from the other areas of the life. Yeah, so it's one.
You're working here a lot, like a lot of hours, long hours.
Yeah, it's like.
What do you do to balance it out? Do you do anything for fun? Well, you want to read more, so, but you're not.
Yeah, good things.
Good things, yeah. Do we have any good things?
Something, I mean, I didn't know in terms of, for example, I'm real more or less for about like physics, like for example, like science, right? Something to the next about, I mean, again, it's like psychology is like when you say it, like it's like, well, I'm psychologist, like it's obvious, but not, I mean, something I don't know in psychology, let's put it this way. Something I don't know like about this world in terms of the beyond the physics, let's put this. Yeah.
That's interesting to you?
Yeah. Okay, so for example, you're good with physics, you're more, for example, understand society, right? For example, I mean, again, it's biased, you never understand society.
No, I know what you mean. There's I'm a big Elon fan, but he's like, the rules are physics dictate the rules. Everything else is a recommendation, right? Everything can be reduced. The physical world can be reduced to the limits of physics, right?
Right.
Everything else is sort of an opinion from that vantage point.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But again, for example, he is thinking about like simulation. I'm pretty confident that's one part of the. Don't need to confuse me. We name it simulation because we know it's simulation, but in reality, this can be way more complex, right? We know this world, right?
Do you think we are in a simulation? Or what's your take?
I don't like the.
Someone gave me a simulation with a lot of traffic. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's maybe the reason. I mean, the nature of the simulation to accomplish it, like to challenge the traffic.
True. Yeah. We do need a. Yeah, I mean that's the bigger picture stuff of.
I mean, again, this is the traffic, the nature of the simulation, because we're here, so we're dealing with all things. So there's nothing wrong, for example, to be, hungry or angry or something like basic, because we're already embedded here. That's part of these things, and it's reasonable to be part of the things because we're already here.
Do you consider yourself a spiritual person, or like how do you think about non-physics stuff?
No, I'm probably like
you're all in on.
You're all at least. But I don't think it's like this, like the physical.
Is there any room for spirituality in organic chemistry?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, there's like, I don't think it's what we know that's it, right? Because the whole human history is like we evolve, we get new knowledge and like expand. It's like, so it's like silly to think like what we know now is like this, it's settled, and it's like, yeah. Obviously, there's going to be like more things.
New discoveries.
Beyond it, like, yeah. again, not maybe like in the physical world behind it as well. Yeah.
You haven't had any sort of like crazy coincidences that changed your life and made you think like, wow, how do you explain that? Like, quantum entanglement's like one way they try to explain it from a physics standpoint of things that to us seem miraculous.
I mean, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you always, I mean, if you're thinking there is something else, you're trying to find something else, right? So you constantly,
you'll see it if you.
Yeah, you're constantly checking. Like, for example, there is like, I'm not the cracks in the reality, but something that doesn't fit. That's maybe like the interesting point to start like thinking about, reading about it, like what was done before you. That's like that's my like engineering approach kicks in, right? So what's that is usually some paradox. So paradox meaning something we don't know. So something doesn't fit. So it's not like something we miss something, some part of the some event, some action.
Okay,
That's
so
probably, paradox is the most interesting. Most of them they come physics, mathematics. On the real life, I mean, like that's kind. I mean, you can be really biased about, for example, right? For example, you're thinking something happening, it's like fun, but that's maybe just like statistics. So like to put like a lot of attention what's happening with yourself, like in that might be yes and no. I mean, tracking, but not like put a lot of attention and a lot of emphasis on that one. But some things on the basic level of which like we all experience, that's more interesting.
is this the coolest thing you think anyone's doing?
I hope somebody is doing teleport now.
Teleport.
Yeah, but so one thing is like Peter Thiel said like they promised us flying cars and give us like 140 characters in the Twitter, right? There's something maybe like
I asked for flying cars and I got 140 character limitation in Twitter.
That shouldn't be right?
Yeah. Why doesn't the future look like the future? What's up with that?
That's something like we again, a lot of conspiracy theories, and that's maybe like not of all of them, like all conspiracy theories. Like for example, if there's something was conspiracy theory, something happening like 200 years ago, and we're reading in history, and it's like, wow, they folks were like really like crazy, right? Why we're thinking like there is not something happening right now, right? Pretty the same stuff. So there is maybe some thinking from behind, like from other folks. But in another, looks like humanity does what like it really needs, and it's really hard to. So challenges make it move forward, or at least like the fast forward. I'm not the fan of this one. I'm the fan of the progress, right? For example, the progressivist, let's call it this way. I don't think it should be like jumps, right? So it's better to have like the evolution is better than revolution, because revolution is maybe it's fast, and the next generation is definitely more happy than the previous one. The previous one, in the case of the revolution, is gonna suffer. So evolution is like, I think it's better way to accomplish things and to research the world.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, I love this stuff. I love the Twitter joke kills me. I wanted flying cars and instead I got 140 characters. It's kind of a joke it kind of calls into question, are we focused on the right things? Are we working on the right things? Obviously a ton of resources went into building character limitations, social media. And that's actually one reason I wanted to talk to you is I get inspired by people who can think past 140 characters. and are trying to do things to really solve, solve real problems, or that's inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like this might be like a balance. So, for example, it's in one thing, it's like people go for like social something, like some society more obsessed with the social things. Another time period they more obsessed with the obsessed. Like,
Oh, it's cyclical, you think?
Yeah, yeah. For example, spiral, right? Now that at some moment, okay, let's do like more towards like they call it like deep tech now, like for the engineering. But the thing is like the next level is gonna be harder than the previous just by nature, because I mean, like, imagine for example folks like 100 years, I mean, they have a lot of areas to research, right? The more you research is going to be tougher and tougher and tougher, and it's like I think it's rule of 10. So when it's like the next step is like takes like 10 more times like efforts to accomplish it, right? So yeah, so one thing, we live in like in a brilliant world. We know a lot about nature. On the downside, like the next information, the next chunk of the knowledge is getting like more and more harder for us. Yeah. So that's, for example, like deep tech technology, or like nuts and bolts. Then maybe like next breakthroughs, maybe not in this one, not maybe nut and bolts, maybe in something like more like, again, organizing them on the higher level, or again, the way we are thinking, the way how society organized. So that's.
What's so when we're talking about the coolest things people are working on, most innovative, flying cars, teleportation, or
I hope so.
but obviously a big one right now is AI. Like, what's your general?
I'm more like actually towards like that AI may push the fusion reactions research forward. So that's like another biggest dream of the humanity, right? Fusion.
So you like it? You think it'll be a good thing?
Yeah, because I mean that can solve I mean the pretty like cheap, not unlimited, but pretty cheap energy that can give you like a lot of advantages. Yeah, and the AI can be the. Me personally, I don't have like solid opinion about AI, so that can be. I mean, let's say on this level, my opinion, it's not even close there yet for the general AI or something like to solve like real problems.
Do you think the predictions are too optimistic, accelerated? It's not a year or two away.
Yeah, but there is maybe like a breaking point. For example, when you have like the complexity of the system, at some point just can bring it to the next level. So maybe, for example, if you have like part of our brain is like neurons, nothing happens, right? For example, yeah, we have like all the neurons of our mind that can bring consciousness. Yeah, consciousness. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Is it at the level? Do you use it? Is it helpful for what you're working on, or not?
Yeah. I mean, I less use it for the emails or some things. I like how I write myself. Give a sense of a touch of the personality, because
I didn't mean like emails. I meant like, does it help build flying cars?
Yeah, more like for the. No, I mean, like, for example, that's really it's really useful when you create some text. I mean, it's good about language. When you create it for the language, I mean, when you use it for the language, that's the best. But it's also, I mean, it's good for some formal things, for example, engineering formulas. If it's easy and it's like pretty straightforward, it's going to accomplish it. If there's like something point, for example, some deviation, something new, when it's like it's not uncertainty, yeah, you need to check it. Yeah, so I mean, using it, but again, I think everybody says use, but check. If it's like mission critical,
trust but verify.
Double check even, for example. We're not going to use like AI for the flying controls, just more, I mean, because it's statistical, and it's not like algorithmic. For example, we have like certain input, certain output. Like AI can deviate. So not for the flight control, but we're using it for the augmenting of flight controls. Augmenting meaning like so some information for the person, some information for the algorithmic flight control. So for example, something to consider. So when you don't have no information and uncertainties, information from AI can give you some advantage. By you, I mean like the pilot or autonomous pilot or something like how to control the car or
The CPU.
the vehicle. CPU.
Yeah. That's my engineer.
It can be like so it can be physical. It can be like person, but I mean that's something I can give the input. Yeah.
So with everything going on, flying cars, telepathy, teleportation, AI, what are you most excited about with where you see us being headed? Because people are talking about so many different things.
Technology. Again, I mean, technology is like moving. That's something. Again, I'm more interested about like humanity in general. Like, well, I mean, where we're going, like, what it's going to be like in 30 years, in 50 years. So it's like there is. You don't have like, and it's good. You don't have like strict answer to this one. Yeah, we can break humanity. Still, we can evolve. Yeah, it's like something new. So that's something. I mean, we like things which is like uncertain, right? For example, if it's something settled, there is not a big interest in, right? Or like less interest. So uncertainty, and the biggest uncertainty, I think, is like the in society.
Elaborate.
Again, society, I mean, the relation between people in society, relation between countries, relation, I mean, what the goals of the humanity, right? So there's going to be the issue.
Are you trying to like not be too political, or?
I mean, politics is just like one side of this one. I think the politics is just like it's actually...
like, are you concerned about a particular aspect of society, or?
I mean, that when we were talking about, for example, are we going to be like VR creatures, like virtual reality creatures, or we are still going to go to space? So something like this, yeah. Frankly, politics is just like, it's like a foam on the what's going on the like probably like deep drivers of the society development and
drivers of society. Yeah, well.
Again, I mean, there is, for example, can be some actors and like that in politics that can lead to humanity to some ways on that particular time. But I'm thinking like it's more like the wide road, like it's something like have deeper causes than just.
So is it like
somebody's will?
Would are you optimistic, just curious about it, or concerned / pessimistic with where you see things going with quote unquote society?
By nature optimistic, but can person change or not? Like I'm more towards pessimistic now, but I mean like Again, I mean like, there were a lot of examples. Like I think in history, it's not good, but in some cases, like another level up. Yeah. And in technology, they call it like the technical revolution. So, for example, right? So we're doing something, and at some moment, like boom, we go.
And then breakthrough.
Yeah, we discover something. Yeah. Like, yeah.
So you get nowhere, and then you have a breakthrough.
About traffic example, so there was horses in the beginning of 20th century. It was like a big problem. Nobody like knew what to do with them. It's like again transportation, traffic, ecology, and then some moment the cars, combustion engine, electrical cars. Yeah, they appeared and it's like boom, and we have like 100 years of the development of the regular cars. That's why I'm thinking that can be the next technological revolution. For example, it's like you combining what cars did to the cities in the beginning of 20th century, so they extend suburbia, right? So that can be like the way how it will extend city and like real estate and the happiness and the.
And have it, yeah, no, it's cool. The Henry Ford quote of like, if I asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. And then if you asked your customers what they wanted, they would say a faster car with better wheels. And now instead of giving them a faster car with better wheels, or I guess electric car is maybe like a medium, between. It's a major revolution to have an electric, but anyway, but like they're thinking the paradigm is horse, then the paradigm is wheels, now the paradigm is whatever this is, the flying car. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to be.
I'll write it down. Yeah, I really like it. Right. So that's something like you thinking. Yeah, we tend to think about from our experience. I mean, like what works, and we really stuck to what works. Don't touch it. Sometimes even engineering. So one thing, for example, it has the shape of the car, and it's like, but in reality, that can be something else. It doesn't.
Can be anything. Yeah,
that's because, for example, there is a requirement of the infrastructure to fit this, right? To have like some transition point to that can be like other vehicles.
So we talked a little bit about your challenges. I'm gonna try to ask it a different way, see if it brings anything else up. Where do you feel like you need the most help?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's good. I mean, it's good to ask help. It's not good not to ask help. That's completely reasonable. Yeah, obviously, for example, how to. I mean, the most probably obviously how to unload me in terms of the working hours. That's probably is going to be this. Like,
how to manage. You're saying like work-life balance. Figure that out.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. But again, that's pretty simple, and it's like something like a lot of can complain probably on this one. There is no perfect balance, right? You get used to something, and like you're shifting like more, and then like back, and this
Well, what's stopping you from creating a work-life balance that you're happy with?
Mindset, I think, and I understand it. So so for example, you have interesting. I mean, somebody can say like interesting things. Somebody can say like it's more like obsession. So it depends on your altitude to this one. But I understand. Yeah, for example, I can spend less time, maybe be the same efficient, or like for example, maybe not something dramatically wrong. For example, if it's not going to be delivered in 1 year, but for example, in a year and a half, right? But that's something I still kind of thinking to pursue.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's like this again. This journey in terms of the other help. I mean, it's more like experience. There is no direct help you can ask for it. I mean, like you're going through something, you evolve, you're going through something. Yeah, you can ask, but I mean, it's about help, but it's more like advice. Yeah, Google, call friend. Yeah.
All right, so we'll work on your work-life balance. That's fair enough. What else? What else would you like to share? What else do you feel like I missed? We explained the purpose of what you're doing, the goal, the timeline, how it connects to a bigger picture, beyond traffic.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you feel like we?
Again, different areas of that. I would say probably the main thing. Don't be discouraged by something going on. So find something. So how, and it's probably a good example, how this transfer from something local to something like which maybe is big and which may be meaningful. Again, so from the very beginning, you start enjoying something, right? So something like you particular, like it might be something like not bringing money from the very beginning, or maybe.
But
like
you're fascinated by it.
Yeah, but I mean, not some maybe not useful, but you really like it, right? For example, yeah, and then something like this, the steps you're getting like better in it, and it's like it can be like there is a niche for the. I'm pretty sure there is a niche for the all human activities like in this world. For example, if you, I can say like for example you're like perfectly good, but for example if you're like up to something, there's gonna be application for the for you. So that's don't be discouraged in what you're doing. Like if you really enjoy it, you do it.
And just trust that it'll work out. There'll be an application, the money, the use case, the business, like things will come together.
Maybe don't even think about it, but that's something will give you sense of the confidence. And based on that, you can go to even like maybe not related to that particular area of human activity, maybe something else. Maybe that will evolve for something else. But it will give you some baseline to how to
start with what captures your interest and just go from there.
Exactly. And that can be anything, literally.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for coming on, Konstantin. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you for
we'll get you some flying cars anytime now. So stay tuned. And
so check this 1 year.
Check this one
in 1 year.
And this was a ton of fun. Thanks for what you're doing. Thank you for attacking a problem. Many people, everyone relates to. Traffic is just. I mean, I wasn't thinking about flying cars.
It's really exciting. Me too.
I wasn't thinking about, again, the paradigm, right? Like I wasn't thinking about flying cars. I was thinking about, I can't wait till we have autonomous vehicles, right? Because I know Tesla, Elon's working on autonomous vehicles. I'm like, so again, like I'm not even thinking about what the best case scenario could actually even be. I'm just thinking about, I hate traffic. What's the next thing? I can't wait till I can just sit there and have an autonomous vehicle. But it's interesting, again, customers begging for something that is like level 1, and it could be so much better. It could be so much better. So that's an interest. That's cool. Thank you for going after. Thank you for going after a big problem and sharing a bit about your story and coming on here. And so, this is great.
Thanks. It was a pleasure. To talk. Hopefully it's like
Alrighty.
You guys like as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Pleasure.
Alrighty.
Pleasure.